Hello, my family. I am about to present to you something I never thought could be possible for low carb diabetics. As many of you know, that we're working our goal towards my husband becoming from a type 2 on medication to a type 2 off of medication, totally relying on the food that we make. There are two things that are hardest in everything that we can do low carb: bread and pasta. Now, I'm going to tell you as a pasta side, and I'm still working with the bread side, but for the pasta, I have tried just about every recipe out there to no avail. They just did not satisfy us. Now, please know though, I do understand that low carb is never going to be the same as normal, and I can get that. But I have to tell you, I found one that is very, very close. And I am going to share this with you. Now, as I give you this recipe, and it will be in the description box below as well, please know that I will not take credit for creating this recipe, but I will give the person who created it credit. And this came from the Black Tie Kitchen. This man is absolutely amazing, and this is as close to pasta that we are ever going to have. I'm going to share that with you because we are actually having shrimp alfredo this evening. So I'm going to start with this. I have in this food processor, because you're going to be using a food processor, it is a really simple technique. Now again, I use a scale because scales turn out to be a whole lot better to use when you're working with products like this than it is by cup. However, I will also include the cups. So I have a half a cup of vital wheat gluten. I have a half a cup of lupin flour, or 80 grams of vital wheat gluten and 80 grams of lupin flour, and 2 large eggs. That is all you need. So I have the vital wheat gluten and I have the lupin flour in here. I am now going to add my eggs inside of this processor. And we're going to pulse this up at first. And now I'm going to let this run until everything binds together like a dough. And I will be right back. Okay, so our dough is back together. Let's get this mess out of here. And I am going to knead this so that it gets soft and elastic, just like you would regular pasta dough. Let me get this cleaned up and we will be right back. Okay, it was suggested that if you wanted to use a floured surface on your board, you can use oat fiber for that, or even when you're running it through a pasta machine. But I'm actually going to knead this for a bit till I get it into the pasta shape. You roll this just like you would pasta until you get that nice elastic dough. When I work with this, it just reminds me so much of me working with my own homemade pasta. It had surprised me from the beginning, y'all. And so I thought I'd go ahead and share this because I'm sure there's a lot of us, others besides me and my husband, who wanted to find that way to have regular pasta as much as we possibly could. And this is as close as I'm ever going to find. Now, besides our regular vegetable pastas, our our spaghetti squash that we like, the palmini, the hearts of palm we like, occasionally I will do zucchini pasta, but this has become our go-to pasta. Now you'll see that smoothness when you press it and it bounces back. It's got the elasticity where it starts to rise back up. It is now time to let this rest. So now I'm going to take this and wrap this up in saran wrap, and it's going to sit in a room temperature for 30 minutes. Let me go ahead and get this wrapped up, and then I will be right back with you. Okay, so I have my saran wrap, and I'm now just going to cover this all the way around. And I'm just going to let this sit for 30 minutes. Now, you can make this pasta and you can freeze it. It was suggested, and I absolutely know and understand why. If you make your pasta, use a freezer bag. Don't squish it. Do not put it through a vacuum sealer. You will have one glumpy mess. So just make it up, and you can freeze it like that as well. But we have some that we had already started earlier. I made up another batch because as I was getting ready to make supper, I thought I'd just go ahead and make a video about this because I think it was well worth sharing. So I have some that I had already started. Now, we did test some of this. That's the reason why I went ahead and decided that I am going to make it. So I'm wrapping this up because I'm going to be using this whole thing. On my pasta maker, which another subscriber wanted to know how to make alfredo, so we'll be doing that as well. In the meantime, I am getting my hot water actually to a boiling point. Before you ever add this pasta, you want your water boiling. So I am reaching mine to my boiling point, and in the meantime, we're going to make our pasta. Now I'm turning mine into angel hair. So let me get my rolling pin. I'm going to start at about the 2 level on my pasta maker. This is nothing but a hand cranked one. I do not have the KitchenAid, y'all, so you get to watch me with this one. Now I'm going to take this, flatten this down as best I can so I can run it through my pasta machine. Okay, that should do it. And now I'm just going to roll it through here. Do y'all see this? How this is actually working through a pasta machine. Now, what type of dough have we seen yet to do this? Now, Victoria's did, but not like this. Not this smooth. This is working just like, y'all, amazing, just like regular pasta dough. And trust me, I've made my fair share of homemade pasta, and I would have never thought I'd find a low carb version. So I'm going to fold this over, press this down, and run it through. Do this again. Roll this out. Now this might not come out perfect, but I'm not into perfection. I'm just happy we're going to get pasta, just to tell you the truth. So now let's make this stuff. I'm going to run it twice on this level. I'm going to take mine all the way to level 9, which is as far as my pasta maker will go. Running it through each level twice. I'm at number 4 right now. And you see this is stretching. I'm going to go to number 5. Number 6. I'm hoping y'all can see this. Look, y'all. I have never seen a low carb, not even keto recipes do this. This is number 7. And it's coming out just as thin as my homemade pasta does. 2 more levels and then we'll cut it. This is number 8. Now if I wanted to make lasagna, oops, get my handle here. If I wanted to make lasagna, this sheet right here would do this. I'm going to roll it one more time on level 9 and we are done. Look at this. This is amazing, y'all. And that is it. Can you see that? That thin. I seriously cannot believe what I'm seeing right here. I'd never thought this could be possible. I'm going to run it one more time so I make sure I get the right thinness that I need. And you see I'm able to handle this. It's rolling through. Now I'm not having to use any flour to roll this through with either. So, but that's it. Now I'm going to cut this into linguine. I'm going to attach my cutter. Now I'm going to have to run it from this end because this is going, let me see if I can move this down right quick. Okay, so now I'm going to run this through my, this is like my angel hair pasta cutter, and that's the one I am going to be using. The first one we did was a linguine, but I prefer angel hair. I always have. So I'm just going to run this through the angel hair cutter. Get it started in here. And it cut all the way through. Now I am going to have to take and cut some of this and pull it apart. Do you see this? Oh, wait till you see how this cooks up. Let me get my pieces apart here. Definitely worth it. It comes apart just like it would with the other pasta. Now if I floured this, it might come out better, and I'm thinking that's where he's talking about. Basically, for the cutting sections of this, it's probably best to flour this. So the next piece, that's what we're going to do. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and pull this one apart, and I will be back for the next and see if that actually helps by using the oat fiber to pull these strings apart. So I will be right back. Okay, so we now have our pasta. Look at this, y'all. Now my cutters are not doing right for angel hair, so I still got 2 sections together. They're not coming apart, so I'm just going to have to make them just like this. You can, if you did not have a pasta maker, you can actually roll these up and cut them yourself. So, but I tried the oat flour. I don't know what is wrong with my cutter, but this is the way it's supposed to have looked. But it's at some point not even pulling apart well. And I had this problem when I was making homemade regular pasta too. So, but there's my strands of angel hair, y'all. So I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get some of these pulled apart. And our water is boiling, and this is where we need it to be for our next step, so I shall be right back. Okay, we're just going to leave it like this is, because it's now starting to frustrate me. So anyways, in my pot of boiling water, you want this boiling, because once this hits that water, you want to time this for 3 minutes exactly. No more, no less, but exactly 3 minutes. It will get it to that al dente stage. You want to strain it completely after that. So we're going to get our pasta in here, into our boiling water. You see this, y'all? Unbelievable. So I'm going to get my fork, mix this in here, and I'm going to set my timer for 3 minutes. Once this 3 minutes is up, we will come back and strain this. We're now going to strain our pasta. And I'm going to set this aside, wash out this pan, and I'm going to make alfredo sauce. But before I do, I wanted to show y'all. Does that look like pasta? Let me see if we can get this up closer for you. Look, y'all. Pasta. No other funky chemicals or nothing like that. This is just 3 ingredients. And believe me, this has the stretch and pull just like pasta. It's got that chew. I can't wait to have this tonight. I promise y'all, you will not regret this. So let me get this ready and we will make our alfredo sauce. Okay, for our alfredo sauce, we are going to use 1 whole stick of butter and melt that down. Turn this down. Let me go ahead and bring you closer so you can see this pot. All right, that's better. And in this, I'm going to add 2 minced cloves of garlic and bring out the aroma of the garlic into the sauce. Now, this sauce will not have cream cheese. Some do put it in there. I do not. I try to keep this as simple as possible. It does not need a whole lot. There are many varieties, but this is the variety I do. So I'm just going to melt this down, making sure that I don't brown my garlic. And once this gets melted down, I'm going to be adding 2 cups of heavy whipping cream. Then I'll want to simmer this for a bit. That way it gets nice and hot and somewhat thick too. And then I'll be adding, right now I'm going to go ahead and also add, now I don't have white pepper, so I'm going to use a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper and a 1/4 teaspoon of Himalayan sea salt. Mix this together. Now I'm going to go ahead and add 2 cups of my heavy whipping cream. Then I'm going to blend this all together, bring it up to temp. First bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to simmer this. Make sure I get all my cream out. And I am going to use a wire whisk for this. while this is coming up to temp, I'm going to go ahead and grate 1.5 cups of Parmesan cheese. You can use Asiago if you'd like. We're just using Parmesan tonight, so I'm going to go ahead and get this up to temp. In the meantime, I'm going to grate my 1.5 cups of Parmesan. Okay, so I've brought my cream up to temp. You want it heated all the way through. You'll start out to a boil, drop it down to simmer, and you'll let it sit for about maybe approximately 5 to 8 minutes. Now I am going to drop, at this point, take it off of my heat for right now, and I'm going to put in 1.5 cups of my shredded Parmesan grated. I am reserving some of this to top our dish with. And I'm just going to go ahead, stir this in here until it melts. Like I said, if you want it even more creamier, you can add cream cheese if you'd like. I think for us this is good, so just drop a little bit more. Once it's good and melted, just like this. Oh my gosh, guys, it is so beautiful, and it smells so amazing. Now I'm going to put this back on the heat on low and let this simmer for just a bit to make sure that it's heated through all the way and every ounce of our cheese is melted to a nice creamy sauce. Y'all, that's all it is. Now at this point, I'm also, because we are having shrimp alfredo, I am actually going to be dropping, now these are pre-cooked so I don't have to really do much with it. I'm just going to go ahead and drop in some of their little salad shrimps. So I'm going to drop in some salad shrimp in here, mix this all together, and this is what we're going to have with our pasta, and we are having a side salad with this. Just that simple. Now you can choose, we took basically the cheaper option right now, but you can use raw shrimp, you can use whatever size shrimp you want in here, it doesn't matter. We're just using the cocktail shrimp, I guess you call it. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this back on the stove right now and let this heat through. I will bring you back to the final dish and plating, and this should be the end of the video. And there is our final plate. Homemade pasta, low carb, shrimp alfredo. I cannot wait, guys. I can smell this already. So I'm hoping you enjoyed this video. I'm hoping this will help many out there. All's not lost, y'all. It really isn't. And if you enjoy this, be sure to let Black Tie Kitchen know how much of an amazing job they did. I have done the same myself. So, and we also have our side salad to go with it. And I don't know about if anybody else has noticed it, but those spring salad mix these days, I'm getting more spinach than I am lettuce. But that's our supper, and we are getting ready to eat. So until next time, much love. Hope you enjoyed this from Parton's Heritage Homestead.